today is how I came to be standing here in this room with you in Israel at Pardes. So about 2 years ago now, I was living in Northern California under very different circumstances. I'm sorry to say to our Northern Californians in the room that I was actually very miserable living there. It's a beautiful place, but I didn't have much community. I was feeling really isolated. I was in a very long relationship that was nice, but not going anywhere at all. And I was just not a very happy person at that time in my life. And I finally decided that I needed to leave. And so I was 28. I broke up with my boyfriend. I quit my very secure teaching job. I've been teaching for 4 years at that point. And I moved back in with my parents, which was devastating. I had been completely self-dependent since graduating college. So here I am, 28, no job. I remember going home the first night back in my childhood bedroom, and I just started like weeping and sobbing, and I was thinking, I have no job, I have no partner, I have no community, I don't have any friends here, I have no home, I don't know where I want to live in life. I'm just completely lost, and basically my universe was something like this jar over here. I was just being completely shaken up. I didn't know what was what, where I was going to go next. Complete confusion. So it was February. I didn't want to get a new teaching job in the middle of the year because that's also very confusing. I decided I had a little savings. I would go travel for a while. And I thought, maybe I'll go to South America. I've been learning Spanish. I could go practice. And then I remembered that my friend Sarah from college had moved recently to Ramallah for a job and with the Palestinian Election Commission, and she had given me an open invitation to come visit anytime I wanted. And I thought that would be very interesting. And, while I was at it, I should also probably visit Israel, and I would go to Turkey while I was kind of in the neighborhood as well. And I had been to Israel before. I went on a birthright trip with Hillel when I was in college, and so I lived here for a couple months, but it was completely a secular trip and not particularly inspiring. It was just kind of interesting. So I was looking at my time frame, and I had to be back for my brother's college graduation in May, which meant I had to be traveling during Pesach. And that meant I had to choose between Turkey, Ramallah, and Israel for where to be for Pesach. And I naturally chose to be in Israel for Pesach. Maybe someone else would have made a different decision, but that made sense to me. So I came to Israel, and I encountered some really amazing people. Some of them were new, some of them were people I already knew from the past. And I ended up spending Pesach in the amazing holy city of Tzfat. I'm going to skip a lot of details. I'd love to tell you personally if you want to come up and ask me more specifically what happened. But I basically realized at that point that I wanted to try taking on some observances. I wanted to skip this question of where I would go find a job the next year in America and instead come spend a year in Israel. And I remember leaving Tzfat on the bus, going back to Yerushalayim, coming to the realization that, oh my gosh, I'm going to completely throw out these plans that I had, and I'm just going to come back here, because this is what feels really appropriate for right now. And I was like, wait, can I really do this? Is that responsible? Is that even possible right now? Can I just chuck my plan? Wait a minute. I have no job. I don't have a home. I'm not paying rent. I'm not in a relationship. I don't have a community I'm responsible to. It was the exact same list that I had been sobbing over only months before. And I realized that these exact same problems were liberating me and allowing me to, at this point, follow what my dream was. So I think I'm out of time. How's the jar doing?
It's just doing great.
Is it, have you noticed any changes in the jar? Okay, so to make like a really kind of corny comparison, I didn't know this morning. I knew that I wanted to talk about this topic, and I knew for some reason that I wanted to bring in some cream in a jar, and I had no idea what they had to do with each other. And then I was walking to school, and I realized, although it looks like we need more than 5 minutes for the desired result, if we were to keep shaking this jar, what started out as just a mess of liquid sloshing back and forth would eventually coalesce into a nice little lump of completely fresh butter and some very nice buttermilk on the side. And that's exactly what happened in my life. The sloshing about was eventually what coalesced into what's been one of the most amazing periods of my life.
אני קם בעברית בבוקר, ושותה בעברית קפה, משלם בעברית ביוקר על כל דבר שאני